Though I'm not the nostalgia critic, and I don't have an opening catchphrase, you know, I haven't made a video in a long time. Hell, I haven't even really done a video since, like, what, December? October? November? It was a long time for sure. So, I figured I'd update you on a lot of the stuff that I picked up. So let's run down the list, shall we? Let's. Okay. So, as far as my non-Transformers figures are concerned, I got... You know, as a fan of Bionicle, I was really disappointed to find out that Legos was replacing Bionicle with Hero Factory, but Hero Factory's designs are still cool enough that I still support Lego. So in this case, for Christmas, I got Stormer XL, Voltix, Speed-A-Demon, and after Christmas, I bought Furno XL. Seriously, Speed-A-Demon's actually really awesome. I love messing around with him. And hell, I love how a lot of the Hero Factory characters can actually interact with this motorbike. It's actually really cool. Anyways, as far as Marvel figures are concerned, for Christmas I got the X-Factor 6-pack, the Walmart exclusive 6-inch Lizard figure with reptile sidekicks, and post-Christmas I bought the Doctor Strange Silver Surfer 2-pack and Psylocke. In that same purchase, though, I also got the Avengers and the Dark Knight Rises. I also got the Amazing Spider-Man for Christmas. As far as other stuff goes, I got the Sonic Super Pack and Classic Sonic. And now we're getting into the Transformers stuff. Oh boy, this is a lot. Post-Christmas, I bought Kreon Microchanger Combiner Devastator and the Microchangers Bludgeon and Sunstorm. Then on Christmas, I got Prid Ultra Magnus and Thundertron, the first edition Bulkhead, the GDO Power Dive Megatron and Laserbeak. I also got Cyberverse Dreadwing and everyone's favorite shelf warmer, Prime Robots in Disguise Bumblebee. That was actually a last minute gift, but you know, I still enjoy it. It helps complete my Team Prime. Anyways, post-Christmas I got a first edition Optimus, Beast Hunters Bumblebee, and the Minions for Fall of Cybertron Voyager Soundwave, who I later bought with Arachnid. Yes, I bought Arachnid. Yes, she is a piece of shit. Yes, that encouraged me to use Fall of Cybertron Soundwave to eject his tapes to attack Arachnid. Yes, I know. I mean, it's actually kind of funny that I bought Arachnid and bought a Soundwave figure. That was actually a really interesting coincidence. Who else did I get post-Christmas? I also got the Voyager Grimlock, who is actually really cool. I mean, the Dino mode's rather small, but you know, I do really like having a Grimlock in my collection, especially with as kick-ass a robot mode as this is. And I also got my hands on more Fall of Cybertron guys, like the Deluxe, Kickback, Starscream, and the Sideswipe. Oh, and when I bought Kickback and Starscream, I got my hands on a Dark of the Moon Air Raid for free. Because Toys R Us was having a special offer, like $25 or more on Transformers purchases got you a free Dark of the Moon Deluxe, because they still stocked Dark of the Moon Deluxes. Actually, the last time I checked Toys R Us, which was just yesterday, they did still have Dark of the Moon Deluxes. They restocked Dark of the Moon Deluxes. It's 2013, guys! Stock on second wave Beast Hunters Deluxes already! Stock on the Beast Hunters Voyagers! Another Dark of the Moon Deluxe I picked up was Darksteel. I found him at a Family Dollar for $5, and he's a really kick-ass redeco. I mean, it's enough of a Quick Strike homage, but you know, I still like it. Then on another trip I bought Beast Hunters Wheeljack and Laserback. And then afterwards I ended up buying Predaking, Ripclaw, and Smokescreen. Smokescreen helps top off Team Prime, but Ripclaw is definitely the best of the second wave Beast Hunters Deluxes. Hell, she's probably the best Beast Hunters figure altogether. Except maybe Shockwave, but I've yet to pick him up. Hell, I've yet to see him in stores. I also got Prid Sergeant Cup because he was there and I decided to pick him up. As far as my video game purchases are concerned, however, I did only buy 3 video game related products post-Christmas. The first was the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection. I found Ico to be rather meh, but then again, that's just me. I didn't really enjoy that there was too much puzzle solving. I mean, a lot of it I couldn't even get 5 seconds into half of the puzzle without having to go to a guide, which is really weird, but, you know, that's just me. I mean, I'm sure you'll probably love Ico, but I didn't enjoy it as much as others did. But Shadow of the Colossus is amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I love Shadow of the Colossus. Also, just a week or so ago, I bought the fighting game Skullgirls. I mean, my friend had been talking about it for over a year now, and in the end, I ended up caving in, buying a $20 PSN card, and I bought Skullgirls. I have so much fun with that game! I mean, it's so entertaining, and I don't even know why I didn't buy it at first. And wait a minute, now I remember. The thing was, though, that I was intending not to get the game because it was priced at $15 and there were only 8 main playable characters. Plus, there wasn't a lot of content to deal around in. But the thing is, though, each of the 8 characters has a lot of personality to them and a lot of hard work and time put into them. A lot of effort. That, and even though it's $15, thanks to the Indiegogo funding campaign, whatever, we are actually able to get a good majority of the upcoming DLC for free. For a limited time, though, because, you know, they need to get their funds back. Speaking of DLC, on a whim, after I bought Skullgirls, I bought the Scott Pilgrim Wallace and Online Multiplayer DLC. If you want a more detailed version of what I think of it, go to ClementJ642's video on this subject. But the thing is, Wallace really isn't worth it. He's basically a Steven Stills clone, and the one thing that I thought would make him worth it, the ending, is basically the same thing you saw in the trailer for this DLC. I don't get it! Oh, an online multiplayer? Not worth it. If this thing was included in the first DLC pack, I would not have minded it that much. But they waited like 2 to 3 years before they made a DLC for online multiplayer, and then they don't even get it right! It's laggy. It's, the frame rate drops with more and more players you play with. And the button response, oh god, the button response. I need to calm down. Really, the only reason why I bought it was so I could be a bit of a completionist, so that way I could have all the trophies for the game, but that's really it. It's probably the purchase I'm the least happy with, aside from Arachnid. I mean, not everything has to be gold. And now we get to my favorite part, the crown jewels of my collection. On Christmas, I got my hands on the Fall of Cybertron mold of Bruticus in Generation 2 colors. Yes, the Amazon exclusive one. I love the Combaticons. I mean, sure, they have so many problems with them, but as representations of the Combaticons, I am perfectly okay with it. Okay, except for Swindle being red, but I'll live with that. Onslaught's yellow anyway, so I would totally join in. But I just love this Bruticus, mostly because it's my first real combiner. The Movieverse doesn't even have any real combiners. I mean, Devastator sorta counts, but even then I only got the Legends guy. And hell, the Power Cores don't even count that much because they have Automorph, and they just didn't look that impressive in combined mode anyways. Aside from Sledgehammer and Grimstone. No, it was Steamhammer, not Sledgehammer. And then 2 of my favorite figures so far end up coming from video games. I never thought I would ever have any characters from any video games aside from maybe a random ass trip to Big Lots and I'd find Sonic the Hedgehog figures. Which is how I have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow. Although the Super Sonic pack and the classic Sonic figure came from Toys R Us. One of them is from a retro video game. It's an online exclusive in Japan, and it's technically an online exclusive in America. And another one I found at Toys R Us, which I thought would be an online exclusive, but it's for a character from a modern video game. One that actually came out very recently, in fact. And those 2 figures are Bandai's D-Arts Rockman X Vile, or Vava if you're Japanese, and NECA's Bioshock Infinite Elizabeth figure. I mean, both of these are really amazing figures. I do recommend you pick them up. But pay attention to the paint, because you might get a dud. I mean, you might have a Vile with really bad paint splotches, or a cross-eyed Elizabeth. Just pay close attention. Hell, my Elizabeth is technically cross-eyed if you look close enough. But I'm mostly going to be using her from a distance anyway, so not like you'll really notice. She's not going to have too big a role that I'm actually going to have a close-up of her face or anything. And hell, they end up having almost polar opposites of what I was anticipating for these figures. Vile has a shit ton of accessories, Elizabeth has none. Vile was shorter than I was expecting, Elizabeth was taller than I was expecting. I mean, seriously, she's taller than a lot of my Autobots! I mean, obviously, NECA scale was never going to meet up with Transformers, although it is ridiculous to imagine that Elizabeth is taller than Cub! You can see it right there! And she's half the height of Bruticus! Half the height of Bruticus! Oh my god. This is ridiculous. But I still love it. I still love all of the figures I picked up, and all of the stuff I bought. Except for Arachnid and the Scott Pilgrim Wallace and Online Multiplayer DLC. I cannot recommend that DLC for $5. That's half of the price of the game. That's the price of Sonic CD! But just figured I'd inform you of what figures I ended up picking up during 2013 and very, very late 2012. Oh, remember that video that I did in August when I talked about, the figures that I wanted but never could get my hands on? Yeah, I got pretty much all the figures on that, except for the figures that were not available immediately, and Blaster. I did see Blaster, though. I just didn't pick him up because I didn't have the money. And I was more interested in other stuff. Blaster wasn't a necessity, but, you know, it's Blaster. He's awesome. But I at least have his mold and Soundwave. Okay, that's it. See you next time. For Christmas, I got my hands on the Amazon exclusive Fall of Cybertron Generation 2 deco of Bruticus. Actually, I worded that a bit wrong.